Hey artists, today we're going to be making our name in a logo form, and we're going to actually carve it into some foam, and then we're going to do some marker prints. But first we're going to practice to come up with a logo that we really like. So you're going to think of what name you're going to write. If it's your first name or last name, you're going to put your class code here. And then you're going to stretch out your letters, and some of your letters will connect, some of them might overlap. So I'm doing my last name. I'm going to start with my E, and I'm going to make it larger than I normally would. I'm then going to add my V. I can decide if my A is going to be here, where I already have an A, or I could make a new one. I think I'm going to keep it here. And then I have an N. And finally, I have an S. So here is one logo option. Now when I do my printmaking, my print, it's going to be opposite. It's going to be a mirror image. So I have an S, so my S will end up being opposite. So if you prefer it not to be a mirror image when you print it, you'll actually draw it backwards to start. So let's try a different design. I'm going to start with my A this time. I'm still going to get all my letters in there. Sometimes it just helps when you're deciding on a new design to start with a different letter. And you can turn your letters upside down. I could do my V upside down. I could put my E down here. Then I have an N. And finally my S. So you can play around with the placement until you find one that you like. Once you have a design that you like, you're going to circle it, and then you're going to grab a piece of foam. At the end of class, we are going to end up putting our name on a piece of tape and your class code, and you'll stick it on the back of your foam. And you're going to switch writing utensils. You actually need a ballpoint pen now, and if you want straight lines, you'll have a ruler. So our ballpoint pen, it's not really important that the ink shows up. We just want to indent into our foam. So this foam can actually be carved into. So this is the design I'm doing, and I want to fill this space as much as I can. I don't want it teeny tiny in the center. I want to try to fill the space. So I have an A that I want to be centered. So I'm just going to make 2 dots so that I know where I'm drawing, and I'm going to place my ruler. And when I press, I'm going to press sort of medium to hard pressure so it actually carves into the foam. I'm going slowly, taking my time so my lines are straight, so I'm happy with them because I only get one piece of foam today. You do have the back as a second option if you want to restart, but if you take your time, you should be all right. And then my N. And finally my S. And my S, I can't use my ruler, so I'm just going to freehand slowly to make my S. Oh, I forgot my E. Let me add that on the bottom. All right, now you do have to push a certain amount of pressure. If you're not sure if you pushed hard enough, just bring it to me and I'll feel it. I can kind of tell if it's been pushed hard enough. If it's not, on the next step, it might cause an issue. So if you want me to check, just bring it to me. Now we're going to grab some markers and we're going to color over our designs. There's some pens and pencils in here. And you want to pick colors that you're okay if they mix. So for example, if I put orange next to blue, if these mix together, since they're complementary colors, they're going to make brown. So you want to avoid any colors that you don't want to mix. Just grabbing some colors I know will look good together. And you can overlap colors if you want them to make a new color. For example, I could make a red-orange by overlapping. And that will make a smooth transition. if you do overlap. So you'll notice that I'm using the large edge of my marker, not the very pointy end. That's so that my marker doesn't carve into my foam just like my pencil did. I'm going right to the edge. It's okay if I go off onto the table a little bit because these are washable. I'd rather get all of my print than worry about the table. All right, I'm gonna move my markers. Now I need a piece of paper cut to size. So here's my paper. And I'm going to spray my paper 2 times. You don't want to do it more than that because it'll be too wet. So there's 2 sprays. Then I'm going to grab a sponge and I'm going to spread that water evenly. You want to make sure your fingers don't have marker all over them for this because it will leave fingerprints. And then you're going to flip your print upside down, center it, press, and you're going to massage it, do some circles. Make sure you get the corners and the edges and the center, of course. I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want to make my print not show up. So it's sort of a balance. And then once I know that I've rubbed each little corner, I'm going to peel. I have my print.